One second. By the way, I'm Bala, not Aditya. Oh, okay. Oh, Bala. Yeah, I just joined Google Meet. So one second. Yeah, please accept. Please accept. Okay. I'm going to the mute. Hello. One second. Actually, audio lost. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. Go ahead, Ramya. You can. Okay. Okay. In Zoom, everyone please mute it. Okay. We'll get it. You have it. Ramya, you're speaking in. No, you're speaking in Zoom. Please mute it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So one more thing. So till introduction, just take care by yourself. When they ask to tell you about yourself, yeah, take care of that intro which you sent.
Okay.
After that, whenever they start asking questions, I'll be taking care of it.
Okay. So the OTP is not shared.
Oh yeah, 1 second. Mali. Bala. Go ahead. Yeah. Can you please auto share credential share చేస్తారా if you have? Oh, okay. ఒక్క నిమిషం. Or wait అండి. I'll do it myself. మీరు మరి లాగిన్ చేయడానికి 2 minutes wait. ఉన్నాయా లేదంటే ఉందండి. I have only few 100 minutes. Life insurance ఉంటుంది. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay, you have it? Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, for now, it's Sanu. We can use yours, okay? Okay, yeah. Yeah, because 2 minutes on the cover. So, where shall I share it? ఎక్కడ చేయండి మీరు దాంట్లో ఏ మీటింగ్ లో పేస్ట్ చేసినా సివిల్ ఓపెన్ అట్ మీరు జూమ్ లో షేర్ చేసేయండి మీరు అంటే అడ్ర అది ఇతర మొత్తం జూమ్ లో షేర్ చేసేయండి జూమ్ లో చేస్తున్నాను ప్లీజ్ చెక్ ఇట్ మీరు స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేసి చూపించేసాను అమ్మాయికి కంట్రోల్ మీరే తీసుకోండి స్క్రీన్ షేర్ ఆర్డర్ అట్లా చేయలేమండి మీరు తీసుకొని జూమ్ ఇది ఇవ్వండి ఆవిడకి ఓకే ఓకే నేను చేస్తాలేమో ఐ విల్ డూ ఇట్ ఫర్ యూ ఓకే
ఓకే ఓకే
1 minute. After this call, maybe later on మనం ఒకసారి సెటప్ గురించి చెక్ చేద్దాం ఇంకా బెటర్ వే చెప్తాను కొంచెం కాంప్లికేటెడ్ ఓకే 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 యా బట్ నాట్ I think you can look at my screen. Okay?
Yeah, order కొంచెం స్క్రీన్
చేస్తా.
ఓకే
Yeah, I'm doing everything. Go ahead and join the call in the meantime.
Okay.
So I'll be in mute, right? Yes, yeah, with it. Yeah, I'll be on mute.
Hey, Ramya.
Hi.
Good morning. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good evening.
Let's give a few minutes for Sassan to join another panel on my side.
Okay.
Sassan, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hello, Ramya. Do I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice meeting you. I'm gonna turn on my webcam as well.
Yeah, sure.
So I was just having a little bite to eat. I'm ready to go, and
It's late for lunch, Sassan.
I know I was
Usually it's late.
I was troubleshooting something, so I didn't want to interrupt it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then
Thank you.
I had to go and get a bite to eat and I didn't even finish my drink, so here we are.
Okay.
But I'm here, by the way, I'm very casual, so I'd like you to also feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
This is more like a casual conversation than an interview. I will ask some technical questions, but nothing too deep, considering that we only got half an hour.
Yeah.
But why don't we start by a little bit of introductions? If you don't mind going ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we go with this one.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, hi. Yeah, firstly, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. So, I would like to talk about myself. Like I say, I have like 7 years of experience in site reliability engineering and DevOps. So throughout my career, I have focused on enhancing system reliability and optimizing deployment process to drive operational efficiency. And also have worked extensively with the cloud platforms such as AWS and Azure. So here I've implemented like security best practices and managing infrastructure through code through infrastructure they code using Terraform. And also my experience includes the monitoring system performance with Prometheus and Grafana, as well as centralized logging with the ELK stack. So I have successfully executed blue, green, and canary deployments. So I make sure like there are smooth transitions and minimal downtime for the users. And I also automate the process using Ansible, enabling consistent and repeatable workflows. And coming to my experience with the Git branching strategies, I've like allowed the teams to manage the code efficiently and facilitating the collaboration and version control. And additionally, I have deployed applications built with the Node.js and React.js, which is leveraging on containerization technologies such as Docker within Kubernetes environments like EKS and AKS. And I also streamlined the CI/CD pipelines using Jenkins and Bitbucket pipelines to enhance the code delivery speed and reliability. So my passion is like about fostering the collaboration between development and the operation teams to like to drive innovation and continuous improvement. So like yeah, that's I'm excited like about the opportunity to leverage my skills this in this company so I can contribute like my skills. I can be a part in the team success.
Very good. Remy, just out of curiosity, are you in Toronto? Where are you located?
I do live in Abbotsford, which is in BC, near to Vancouver.
Okay, so you're the other side, and you're in 3 hours difference.
Yeah.
Your time zone.
Yeah.
And my time zone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that introduction. So I'll give you a very brief introduction about me. I'm Susan Signature. I'm the senior UI architect as well as a senior dev manager. I am not a DevOps guy, but I have worked with DevOps in a fair degree, and I have managed DevOps people for my projects and people that have been in my team. So I will be asking you some questions that are related to that. But as I said, we won't go too deep. But before we get into that, can you please go ahead?
So thank you, Sasan. So, yeah. So, I'm myself, KK Krishna Kumar. So I take care of the delivery for a couple of accounts. So Canada Life is one of the accounts that I'm managing the delivery. Okay, so we are looking for the senior DevOps resource here. I hope you have seen the JD.
Yeah.
So what we will do is, at the end of the discussion, we will go through the JD, and I will also collect some input from you in terms of how you rate those skills at the scale of 1 to 10 and things like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Susan.
Sure. Thank you. So, would you generally consider yourself more in tune with AWS or Azure? Which one is more of your area of expertise?
Like I'm totally comfortable with both AWS and Azure as well. But currently, my current work is with the AWS most of the time.
Very good. Now, what don't you like about AWS? That if you were sort of setting up an infrastructure that would give you a hard time that you don't like and you would like AWS to improve?
Okay. So,
just generally speaking, and you can be very comfortable with that and just give me your opinion.
Okay.
Is there anything in AWS that if, let's say, if you compare it with Azure, you would say, I wish AWS had done it better, or a service that AWS may have that Azure may have that AWS doesn't have, and vice versa?
Okay. Okay, got it. So, in that perspective, I can say by following the infrastructure as a code, like Terraform provisioning, I would say it would be same for Azure and AWS as well. And coming to the provisioning with the console, again, it's same with the AWS and Azure, but with the Azure we have like coming to the service based, I say like virtual machines, and like they are like easy to like and easy to both are similar. I can say like with the EKS and AKS, I feel like both are like related to they are like similar. I feel like they are similar, but some of the provisioning like provisioning the infrastructure and the little bit of the naming convention, they are like some difference we can see in that the naming convention. Other than that, I don't see like any like uh, like big changes. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't like about AWS. I don't like the user interface. They could have really improved. And maybe a UI guy when trying to go to the AWS platform, kind of scratching my head and saying, they should really revamp their UI. But from what you told me, then I gathered that you have done Kubernetes and you have used EKS and you have set up infrastructure and all of that. So let's talk about that. Let's say I'm coming to you and I say, well, I got a project that I want to deploy to the cloud. And so we have a large set of data, and we basically want to set up our CI/CD pipeline. On the development side, we're going to be using our GitHub, and then we want to be using some sort of mechanism that as soon as we check in our code, it runs the steps and stages of the pipeline. So it does code quality, it runs SonarQube. I see that you work with SonarQube as well. It will set up all of that. So it does the linting, code analysis of that. It will run the automated tests. Then it will grab whatever has been checked in and pass all those stages. Then we want it to automatically get deployed to our infrastructure. Then I will talk to you about the infrastructure, how you would set it up. But let's start with this part of it. So now it's a web application, and these are my requirements.
how would you set that up? Would you be using webhooks? Would you have some other mechanism for that continuous deployment?
So yeah, so coming to this setup in the pipelines, like I have like uh, multiple options. Maybe maybe I can use it with Jenkins, or if we are into the Azure, we can take a look at the Azure DevOps as well. Then coming to the Jenkins, if we are assuming that we are having first, like as you said, we will be having the code which is hosted in the GitHub. Then I will set up the Jenkins pipeline in a descriptive way such that it will have the steps as per our requirement. So first I'll having the code checkout, and then as you said, for the triggers, I will definitely use the webhooks. And also I'll give the push event, like whenever there is a push or like code commit within that, and it will be triggered within the pipeline. And once the CI pipeline starts, it should go through the steps like code checkout and then building the code. And after the building, it should take care of the code quality. Maybe we can use SonarQube for that as well. And then upon that event, if we like, if we use the SAST and DAS scanning for the static and dynamic analysis of our code, we are like currently we are like following in our code is like after the scanning is done, if there are no vulnerabilities, then we will be go ahead with the deployment CED pipelines. Then I can have the deployment into our requirement. If it is either like into the like either to the instance, EC2 instance, or if we need to deploy to the EKS cluster. So if it is a microservice based architecture, and yeah, we will also monitor the pipeline if it's like running good or not, and if like there are any issues, then we will be taking care of that. And also I'll make sure it has the observability taken care, like having the monitoring tools. Monitoring tools in Kubernetes, like we can go with the Prometheus and Grafana, and like we can integrate that, and we will be having the continuous monitoring, so we can take like preventive measures for that.
Very good. So, I mean, I'm going to now, so we talked about the pipeline going from the code being checked in to the deployment. Now we're going to talk about the deployment. So remember that I'm a dev manager. I'm not a DevOps guy. So I'm going to come to you and say, hey, I just wanted to be deployed to the cloud. So now you are going to design that infrastructure in the cloud. So that means that I'm giving you very vague requirements, right? Mm-hmm. But you need to ask me questions and then find out certain things to design the infrastructure, right? So based on my vague requirements, what are the things that you would know? And based on the information that you will gather from me, how would you set up that infrastructure? So the first stage is for you to ask me questions as what are my needs for this project? So go ahead with your questions.
Yeah, so first, like may I know like where our code resides, and also like where is our current application is residing? Is it like on premise or on the cloud? Or, and also I would like to know, is our application is a monolithic, or it is a microservice based?
So ask those questions. Ask them. And just imagine that you're interviewing me. So ask that question. So let's start with the good question that you asked. Is it monolith or is it microservices, right?
Yeah.
So you need to know that information to design the infrastructure and support it and maintain it, right? So my answer to that would be it's a microservices architecture. What does that tell you as far as the infrastructure?
Okay, it's a microservice-based infrastructure, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and also like I want to know like do we need our application with high availability and also do we need to have the monitoring enabled for that?
So yes, we definitely want monitoring, but what kind of monitoring would you have in mind? Is that the monitoring of the traffic? Is that monitoring of reliability? If the services are up or down? What kind of monitoring are you asking me?
What kind of so definitely with the traffic and also I want to know about the Kubernetes infrastructure related monitoring as well.
I have no idea what Kubernetes is, but what I do know is what it is that I need. What I need is for basically multiple instances for my microservices. So imagine that I have multiples of microservices, right? But of course, I want to monitor them. I want to make sure none of the services fails. I want to do health checks on intervals of all the services, make sure that they're all running. I also want to tell you that, you know, there are peak times during the year, there are peak times during the 24 hours. So there are hours that there's more traffic than others. And of course, I don't want to have a lot of latency when my customers come. So how would you handle that? So these are my requirements. These are my, let's say, product owner requirements. And now you got to translate that into the proper infrastructure design. So how would you do it? What would be the infrastructure?
Sure. So coming to the designing of the infrastructure, like as you said, it's a microservice based. Sorry. So I'll be selecting the EKS cluster for the deployment of the application. And as you said, we have like a high traffic that might be expected sometimes. So I'll design it with along with the load balancer to distribute the traffic across multiple instances. And I also have the monitoring and logging for that using the Prometheus and Grafana. And I will have a multiple availability zone deployment such that it will be highly available across the availability zones and we can ensure it is highly available and even the fault tolerant as well. And we can also have the node groups to have to simplify the management in easy of instances within our containers to have it.
Okay, so we talked about containers. And by the way, I do know what Kubernetes is, but I wanted to imagine like I don't, because a lot of product owners may not know. So you need to gather information from them at a high level, explain things to them, and then design for them. So you mentioned that you would be using Kubernetes service EKS.
Mhm.
And you also mentioned that you will be using multiple zones, correct?
Yeah.
Now, so let's say my information, the data that I have is very sensitive. How would you implement redundancy? So if, let's say, something happens, another zone can kick in and handle the traffic.
Okay. So first I will definitely use the HTTPS traffic. HTTPS traffic for that, like instead of HTTP. Sorry. Instead of HTTP, so such that we will have the access for the certificates. We can use the certificates for that in order to encrypt our data at rest as well as like we can also we can have encryption with customer encryption key instead of the cloud provided encryption. So have the and also we can have the role based access like controlling the restriction of permission to others to have the authorization to access of our data. And as you said, as it is a sensitive data, I'll also have the I'll also have the only it's like on in order to access, it must be like the access allowed only to accessing only to required parts and services instead of the entire. And also I'll use the AWS secret manager to store the secrets. And also I have the compliance standards if required, like HIP, and GDPR, like handling this, the sensitive data and and also we'll be performing the regular audits for our application.
Okay. Yeah. So, very good. So, I've heard about this thing called VPC. And tell me, what is that? Do we need it? Should we set it up? How would you set it up if you would recommend it? What's the purpose of it?
VPC, yeah, definitely. VPC, we should definitely have the VPC. It's like instead of like using the normal network, so it will help our application to isolate from the other network. So we definitely must be implement the EPC. And and also yeah, we in the VPC we have the concepts like called subnets within that, like private and public subnets. And also we have the CIDR ranges within them. And definite so that we will also be where we, as you said, like the data which is like sensitive, we can spin up our EKS platform within the private subnets, and we can spin out the application servers. And also we'll be having the internet gateway. We'll attach the internet gateway to the VPC to allow the minimum communication uh, to the internet. Yeah, so it will not allow the traffic open to the entire world, so that we can it's like very important to take care of restricting the external access. So for that, and also we will implement the security groups, and we can implement the NACL rules for that. Yeah.
So what's the advantage of segmentation? If we want to segment it like this, I would come to you and say, okay, what's the point? What's the advantage of having segmentation? What problem does it solve?
So yeah, by having the segmentation, we have the extra isolation between our resources. So if we have like multiple environment, so we can have isolation for those resources. And also we have a high network performance with the reducing the latency because of the segmentation will reduce the traffic within the subnets. And we can also restrict having the leakage, or and we can also simplify the compliance and the auditing by having the segmentation.
So I really like your answer, Ramya, but I have microservices there. How do the microservices communicate with each other? Now, there are times that your microservices are on the same VPC. There are times that your microservices may be across different zones, right? And so these are not redundant groups. It just some of your microservices are deployed in one zone, some are deployed in another zone for various reasons. How would they communicate with each other? Considering that you want to keep it secure, but also have very low latency if possible. So how would you set that up?
So for communicating between the microservices, like if we have different VPCs, so they will be definitely based. Sorry. So they will be definitely. We will be setting up the VPC peering. We have the concept like VPC peering, so we can use that, and also we can have the private link within the AWS, so we can access the other VPC services which are hosted across the network. And we can also have the VPN connection VPN connection. And coming to our EKS based architecture, we can use the VPC peering for establishing the connection so that, and yeah, we can also use the private link here, and we can have the AWS transit gateway for communicating between the VPCs, even yeah, in our company, and we can use transit gateways for the communication for that.
Very good. I like your answers. Thank you. Considering our time, that's all from me. KK, I hand it over to you. Thanks, Ramya. I like the way you explain things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Ramya. Yeah, so I think pretty much most of the things were covered by Susan. So let's see. So you are Solution Architect Associate Certified and Admin Associate Certified as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how has it helped you in your DevOps work?
With the certifications?
Yeah. Now, what part was very useful? What is the learning from that, specifically has helped you with your DevOps? I'm sure you've been doing it for some time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it's going with the certification. It really helped me a lot. So because for the certification, I have prepared a lot, like going through all the AWS services and all the AWS resources, and I get a chance to know how they work. And I also done some hands-on practice. And sorry, I had a bad throat.
Some water or something?
No, I'm good. So I had a chance to work on hands-on for like some of the SaaS-based AWS services as well. And it definitely helped in my job because I use them in our infrastructure provisioning, and also I worked with the in the Terraform in the IAC for infrastructure. So I had like very good exposure to all those AWS services. So that helped me a lot with our certification. I definitely recommend everyone to do.
Cool. Yeah. So, have you read that network options and all? How have you used? Rather, my interest is have you really went beyond the DevOps and tried to structure the resources in a specific way to improve the security?
Yeah. So definitely, as I told, I have followed the security best practices like for deploying or provisioning any kind of infrastructure within the cloud. So I have written my Terraform code that it definitely follows the best practices, and and I like whenever we have a chance like securing like VPC provisioning and subnets within that, I'll make sure of that the VPC to isolate between the different environments, and we have the security groups where I have where I can implement the restrictions from, and also we can open to any specific ports. So that's what all I that part of the network I have implemented in the AWS network. And also I do use the NACLs in order to set up some particular rules, what kind of traffic that can be allowed and not to be.
Okay. So can you walk me through the various stages that you have in your pipeline, and what are all the tools or the purpose of those stages? What tools do you use in build, and what you do in test, and things like that?
Yeah, sure. So with the CI/CD pipelines.
You want to get some water in here?
Sorry, no, the water is in. I have to go to the down.
Please take your time. It's okay. Take a minute and go get some water.
No, that's totally fine. I can manage for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for my pipeline, I would say with the Jenkins, yeah, I have explained like in the initially. So for the pipeline for the source code, we have a GitHub repository, and even once we have any code commit happens, so one second. Yeah, when any code commit happens, then through the webhook, it will be triggered, and then we have the CI. So where it has a code checkout, and then we will have the code build happens. Once upon the test results, after the code testing has done, it will be going through the.
Can we talk about the code analysis, static and dynamic, and also security? What have we done? And security vulnerabilities.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, so sure. Like with the basically when we run the when we run the pipeline, we have these SAST and the DST scannings, like which is integrated along with the CI. So it will run and let us know if we have any issues based on our code. Like whenever we have an issue, it will break the pipeline within the CI, and it will not go to the CD to the deployment. So then I will be work along with the developers to work on the vulnerabilities, and sometimes.
So what tool have you used there? What tool did you use there?
We have gone with the Sonar Cube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonar Cube and also check marks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for performance testing or something, did you have to do anything at all? Not as part of the pipeline, right?
Yeah, this will be mostly taken care by the QA,
Okay.
yeah. And
Okay.
also along with the developers, yeah, they use like JMeter for the performance testing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What about dynamic testing? Dynamic code analysis.
For the yeah, that is like we do that. Even that can be done with the check marks itself. So it will give us the running application and like sending the variable inputs and observing the outputs within that tool. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, can you talk about the Kubernetes? What have you done in that? How do you manage the orchestration of those containerized applications, and what kind of issues you faced while doing that?
Yeah, sure. With the Kubernetes, so coming to the Kubernetes, as I told, I have done the managing the Kubernetes services within the EKS, and I also got a chance to work with the AKS as well. So we have a Jenkins pipeline to deploy into the EKS, and we used like a blue-green deployment model in order to deploy our application versions. And we have used orchestrating with scaling, and we also expose our application with the load balancer, and we use the deployments integrated along with the monitoring tools like Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring. So it gives we can have a continuous health checks if there are any issues with liveness and readiness props. Yeah. And I also set the resource quarter limits to have in order to avoid like some issues. And I also faced a few of the issues within that, like image pullback of like sometimes like their issue like crash loop back off, and sometimes we also have the pods that are not scheduled. These are the things. Yeah.
That's all the question I had. Ramya. So, any questions to me?
Can I know, I would like to know more about the responsibilities and what are the skills that you're looking for.
Okay, let me go with this. In the interest of time, I was trying to avoid, but let's do that. This is certainly required. And I assume that you had look on the JD already. That's what I'm presenting here.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, if you look at it, pretty much this is about, the CI/CD pipeline, the resource management, and the security and scalability and reliability, and that's what it is. Okay. So this is what is the short description of the work involved in it, right? So it'll be setting up, and if it is already there, monitoring and maintenance, right? And that's what it is, right?
Okay.
So, but then what I understand is it'll not be just a CI/CD pipeline maintenance and things like that. It'll be much more, they will expect you to manage the resources also effectively, right? And have a better understanding of the security mechanisms and, the network segmentation, if not at the network level, at least, what kind of segmentation would you do in your pipeline setup and those kind of things, right?
Okay.
And they would expect you to know the risk standards, right? So what are the different standards that they have and things like that. So this is what is the thing. As far as the technical things are concerned, they expect this resource to be person to be very effective and have a very good experience in the Kubernetes and also EKS and the service mesh as well.
Okay.
And obviously Terraform kind of things for infrastructure provisioning, creation, and things like that. And primarily the CI/CD pipeline.
Okay.
Okay. And and another key aspect is the monitoring and troubleshooting.
Okay.
So this role, does it sound comfortable to you?
Yeah, it's totally mostly I do have hands-on with all the requirements that you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. And can I know what will be the next steps for this?
Yeah, so I will be sharing your profile with the customer, and the customer will come back to me in terms of when they would like to do the discussion and things like that.
Okay.
And then we will go from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
I think no, I'm good for now.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Ramya. Have a good day.
Thank you. You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Thanks, Sam.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, it went good, and moving forward with the other step next.
Oh yeah, I think we will hope for the best and
Yeah.
sooner. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Nandi. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I will give update on the Sahi for these details. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Ramya, నాకు ఒకసారి కాల్ చేయమా.
Okay.